Welcome to a night of total terror. Night of the Living Dead. The motion picture called more terrifying than Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Night of the Living Dead.
Now showing at the Super 51 Drive-In, the Spotlight 88 Drive-In, the Sunset View Drive-In in Natrona Heights, and tonight on the Drive-In Asylum double feature.
Well,
Wow. Those are all my drive-ins.
not all of them.
No, but pretty close. Two big ones.
Two
Super
of 'em.
51, Spotlight 88. Spent a lot of my childhood there. This is our drive-in now. This used to be my drive-in. Used to be. But now it's this one, the virtual drive-in. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the Honeymoon Killers, because we sure did.
You know, last week on the show when Fredel and Ray was talking about that hypothetical conversation, well, he and David Dakota were hypothetically saying that they were going to bring back the drive-in as a streaming service and make all these movies. And I was like, I want that to happen.
Yeah,
real.
if anybody could do it, those two could do it.
Absolutely. It's up to you guys, Fred and David.
Yeah, I
And
mean, we would
nobody
totally
else.
watch it. Yeah.
I would totally
We would watch it.
too.
He mentioned the two movies he had in mind sounded great too, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So there you go.
Welcome
So,
back,
Honeymoon
everyone.
Killers. What did everybody in the chat think? You should really watch this movie with Bill because he loves it, and he will just yell out lines from it and laugh along with it. So it makes it an infinitely more enjoyable experience of watching.
Listen, not only are you pregnant, you're disgusting. You're the hottest bitch I've ever seen.
I like that he finally said, "Well, we'll get a younger one," and of course he slept with her because and
Duh.
yeah, and I like she's like, I know you're old fashioned, so I'm sorry, and like, yeah,
This movie is just genius. The layers of deception that are going on. It's like not too deep for almost anybody to follow, even if you're watching it at a drive-in and you're not even really paying attention. But, these two people were masquerading as brother and sister. And then there's that one great scene. I love the one where Evelyn Long, she was the one fictitious victim that did not exist in real life. She was the one who lived at the lake. And they
yeah,
went to her house and it gets exposed because Martha attempts suicide and suddenly they stop acting like brother and sister. And she realizes it. That's what's great about that scene is she starts to realize that these two people are not who they say they are and that she's definitely in some kind of situation with these two. She lived, but they just cut from the scene at the lake to Martha and Ray in the car. So I propose that like Night of the Living Dead, they make a Honeymoon Killers like 40th, 50th anniversary, and they go film some new footage that shows a murder scene at Evelyn's house.
and just shoot it on like the worst film stock or digital video and just make it look just bad.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, I really like the one lady that woke up in the middle of the night and wanted to talk. It's like, you just stayed in bed and shut up, you'd be alive. But nope, you're gonna get hit with a hammer.
Yeah.
That scene is when Becca even was like, "Wow!" Like when the blood was coming out of like around her eye. It's pretty intense scene for for a 1970 movie. Like it feels like, especially the hammer hit like doesn't spray blood everywhere like most movies would. It just makes like a soft sound, and then the lady's just like, it takes a long time to kill her, and then they have sex. He comes in pantsless. He throws his pants on her. They come in and have sex.
Yeah, that's probably the most disturbing aspect of that whole scene is that not only is it very realistic, like you said, it took them a long time. It wasn't a Hollywood murder. and she
Yeah.
had a cap on, so I guess that stopped the spray of the
Yeah.
blood. But like
Yeah.
then they like they tie a tourniquet around her neck, which is horrifying. Like she was still
Yeah.
alive when they did that to her, and she just died in this tourniquet. And then they like want to go in the bedroom and fuck. As I
Yeah.
told you, they're super horny. Everybody
I
is super horny.
I love the well that scene's horny because when they're killing her, it feels very sexual where they're both working together to turn that hammer. And they're both like kind of kneeling like close to her. It's really wild.
If you love me, you'll do it.
You'll do it. Yeah, so how about that? Uh he's brought her into his they're now she's complicit in these things. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we can talk about the spoilerish stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
And well, it was mostly about Raymond because oh, by the way, the thing that the script changes about Martha's life, it is mostly factual, at least what they present on camera, but they also don't tell you that she had two children. I think I mentioned that on the first segment is she had two children by two other men. And Ray actually had a wife and four children in Spain. So they both had families that they had abandoned to take up on it wasn't her leaving her mother in a rest home. She left her children at the Salvation Army. She just abandoned them there. And I have to say they were, whatever happened to them after that, they were better off than being with her
Yeah.
by a long shot, because she probably would have drowned them in the bathtub.
Yeah. And you said that the scar on his head in this has some significance too?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this was. I don't think Tony LoBianco had a scar on his forehead like Raymond does, but Raymond had actually. It's commonly believed that Ray had murdered his wife. Like he got this. He came over to America, and I'm not quite sure what order this happened in, but he was traveling by boat to America, and something fell on his head and gave him a fractured skull. And
Mm.
afterwards he became extremely impulsive, and he had this like irresistible sexual urge. He became a sex maniac, basically addicted to sex. And then he went to
Just
jail
like a
for
John
past.
Waters movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's got to be where John Waters got the idea for a dirty shame. I'm not saying it is, but it's very similar. He went to jail for passing stolen clothing through customs.
Mm.
And while he was in prison, he learned black magic and voodoo from his cellmate. And he believed that black magic gave him power over women. And that when he would send these letters to the Lonely Hearts Club, which was called Mother Denine's Friendly Club, that was the real thing. He would sprinkle magic powder on the envelope. And he would also like conduct a ritual with incense. And he believed that he was hypnotizing these women into doing his bidding. And he murdered his first wife, American wife, by like taking her over to Spain, and he murdered her there. And then he had this fake will drawn up and that named him the beneficiary of all her worldly possessions. And she had an apartment in Long Island, which is where he lived when he met Martha. And otherwise it happened very similar to that. But I wondered if that was why he had a scar on his forehead, because the movie doesn't tell you that he got hit in the head.
Mm. I like Mandy's comment. She said she didn't judge her for life choices, but that she chose the chocolate truffle first from the Whitman sampler. She couldn't trust her after that gross action. So yeah, that Whitman sampler got some product placement in
Yeah.
Killers. Yeah, they
Well,
should make a special edition of it, I think.
I think it's funny that she picked out that specific one, because she ended up eating the whole damn thing anyway. It
Yeah.
was completely devoured at the end of the night, and when he came home from his date with Janet.
My grandmother used to buy those in bulk. She would eat like one of those one a day. Yeah, Beckett just yelled they're terrible in the background. But she used to have them like in a cupboard, and she would whenever like we'd be sitting there, she'd be like, "Does anybody want a Whitman sampler?" And then she would bring it out and she would show you what each thing meant.
The actors in this movie, the victims, shall
Mhm.
we say, the one that played Janet Faye, Mary Jane Higby. She was actually only 55 when she made
Yeah.
this movie, and Janet is supposed to be 66. She lies about her age and says that she's 56, but she was really 66 years old.
We've
And they
talked
did
about it.
kill her. What?
Mhm. We've
They
talked
did
about it.
kill.
Go
They
ahead.
did kill her with a hammer.
Sorry, I was gonna say we've talked before. I said, "How old is she?" Because if they say 35, I'm gonna be upset. We've talked before about how, like Mel and Alice is supposed to be like 45, and you're like,
Yeah.
really?
Can you imagine if they did?
Yeah, like she's like, "Oh, I'm 39 and I've never found a man." And I'm like, "Damn it." Yeah,
Well, anyway, poor Janet Faye. All she wanted was her checks.
yeah. That
Why
other
did?
lady wanted under her money belt, and
Yeah. Oh my God, I love her.
yeah, yeah. But can you imagine? Like they're sitting together, and it's like it'll be a surprise, and you just sign these checks over to me, and I'll go put them in the basement. Well, I'm going down the basement. I'm actually gonna get locked in and have sex with my fake sister, and then then we'll come back up, and you'll never know where your checks are. I guess maybe he really was doing voodoo. That's how he was able to pull off some of these moves.
Well, I love that when he goes back down to the basement, she says, like, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. And he says, that's what you get for being kind to a woman and giving
Yeah,
her affection. And then he like embraces her and starts kissing her. And I'm like, oh my God, doesn't she get it?
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
it's really amazing this this whole movie, and even in the fact that yes, I can believe it's true, but it's still pretty wild. And this has happened in other. Like I said, there's another case in England that happened very similar to this. Uh, where people were preying on, sending out ads. And we live in a world like you said, catfishing today. So this could happen. We were talking during the movie. It's like it took them a month to get together. It would have taken 2 or 3 days today. They would have just sent emails back and forth. There wouldn't been any waiting.
yeah. Even so, that's really quick to
Yeah,
get the correspondence going because she hasn't even joined the club yet, and it's April 1st. Because
yeah.
Bunny tells her that she sent in her name, and like Bunny convinces her. Don't you love Doris Roberts in that
Oh,
role?
I do. Yeah.
Oh my God. I want she needs her own movie. I want to see a movie all about Bunny.
It's crazy. I want to see what happened to Bunny after, where she's like, God, I enabled all these murders. Oh well. Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. She was the catalyst. I love that
yeah.
when she has the phone, she's like, "Oh, did I say that? I don't even know what I'm saying." Because she gets tripped up by what she tells him, and she's like, "I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just so upset."
Everybody at this era where this was made were joining weird clubs, like Lonely Hearts clubs and camera clubs, because guys couldn't get girls to take pictures. So they created camera clubs, and that's how Betty Page got all her money. But yeah, I love that this is so. It just it's classy enough to get a Criterion release, but it's still very seedy, and it's still
Yeah.
it's an exploitation movie, like you said. It's like they're like, "Don't sell it like an exploitation movie." I'm like, well, "How else are we supposed to sell it?"
Yeah, that is what it is, truthfully. But
Yeah,
like you said, art house, grindhouse, it's one of those kind of films. You can appreciate it a number of different ways. It's not just
yeah,
what it is on the surface. And I think this does have a lot of emotional impact.
yeah,
Um, Not only because of the murder, which is extremely like there's really not all that much to it. There's a little bit of gruesome blood, but it's more like what they're doing to her and that it doesn't happen right away. It's not like this like John Woo kind of violence
yeah,
or even Argento or
yeah,
anything like that. It's just what you might imagine that would be like in real life, and that's what makes
yeah.
it so twisted.
Well,
Is
also
that they're
that
doing it to this old lady.
they repeated this behavior so many times in the movie, where it's like,
Yeah,
God, you have to go through the falling in love part and the establishing the relationship that this is my sister, getting married. Do you know what I mean? Like it just keeps they keep building this and building this and building this, and then what is the every time like something snaps? It's always like generally it's like why would you let her sleep in the same room as your new wife if you want it to last for a bit? You know what I mean? Because she's ill tempered at best, and then
yeah.
all it takes is someone saying, "Oh, I can't sleep. Take these pills."
she couldn't be trusted.
No, like I I don't know. Yeah, she's just she's ready to kill these women. And then when she finally gets to do it, she's like, "Oh, I don't know." Like
You have to
you
admit, though, Raymond and Martha are hot together.
yeah, they are. They're a good
They're
couple.
super hot together. I love how into each other that they are, and
Yeah.
I love that how sexy. Remember the part where she comes out and she's like she's in the bathtub and she has that like low cut thing on. She's so
Yeah.
sexy right there, and he just like totally rebuffs her.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you made mistakes last night. Tonight we'll do it right my way.
Oh. Yeah, but they could be a great couple, but they just keep killing people
Yeah.
and
And they're both total sociopaths in
yeah.
each other's clutches.
Yeah. But I like that she's still very much a nurse to him a couple times. Like after he kills the lady, they kill the lady with the tourniquet. He's sweating and he's like, "Oh, oh," and she's like dabbing his forehead and telling him she doesn't want
Yeah.
him to get sick and stuff. Like you can see that part of her did care for people at some point and maybe was good at it. But
She
she's
cared for
also
him.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was it.
yeah. But this is my worry about being in a hospital. That this is going to be the person that's like coming in to check on me. You
Yeah,
know what
she
I
was
mean?
very Annie Wilkes.
Yeah. So, ugh. It's scary. There's also child murder in this too. So,
Yeah, they didn't give
yeah,
a shit.
yeah,
Well, that really happened, so it's not
yeah.
like someone even invented that. That was the
And
truth.
killed a baby before it was born. Because it was in her.
Oh yeah, they killed a couple babies because Myrtle was just about to pop and they gave her all those pills and she was on the bus like "Ugh."
Yeah. Oh, Myrtle.
She was great. She's the one that she said, you're the hottest bitch I've ever seen. I love when she goes into the bedroom with Raymond and she's trying to get him to have sex with her and she goes, "Ooh, you are meanie weenie." Mark and I say that to each other all the time.
Oh,
It's like they have this weird sort of existence together, and yet they're learning to treat it as if it's absolutely normal. He keeps
yeah,
telling her after the next one we'll get married. After the next one we'll get married.
yeah. I guess it's the carrot and the stick, right? The carrot is getting married. And if you just kill one, how much is enough though? Like, are they? I don't think that they're in love with the money, because it feels like a lot of work to get a little bit of money, and the chance of getting caught is kind of high. I love that one lady. She's like, "Let me call them." In the middle of the night, she's gonna call them and tell them where she is, and they're like, "God, like just shut up. They're going
Oh
to
my
kill you."
god, yeah. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I wanted to kill her. I mean, I'm not a sociopath, but I could empathize with our antagonist there, and I'm like, God, she is being so dumb. They're gonna kill her eventually. Like, he's just like, can I just get some sleep on this uncomfortable couch tonight and kill you in the morning? I'm
She says,
tired.
"For Christ's sakes, Maeve, give this woman back her checks. Ray, take her to the train and send her back to Albany." She's like, "Ray, why did she call you Ray?"
Oh
That's when it finally starts to dawn on her. Oh, I'm in trouble.
God, check. That's the other thing that wouldn't happen today. They'd like steal her PayPal account. Like, sign over your
Yeah.
PayPal. Give me your PayPal password. I'll hide it in the basement.
They wouldn't have had to take her out of her house. You don't have to go
No,
through all that shit anymore. You just call them
no.
and say, remember those robocalls everyone was getting that made it sound like someone was calling you from jail and needed bailed out?
Oh yeah.
We used to get them all the time.
Oh, you know what ones I get? They're not robocalls. There was a whole documentary on HBO about it. Telemarketers, the ones that call you from the police, and they say they want to sell you a stick. You make a donation, and they'll give you a sticker to put on your stuff. That's support the police stickers. That's a complete scam. The documentary is amazing of like how it works, like how they do it. I get
You
it
mean
at least 3 times a week. I get
the
that.
Fraternal Order of Police?
Yeah, and you'll get this sticker, and the police will know that you support them. It's like this hint that like maybe when you get pulled over,
Oh
when I get
yeah.
when I get pulled over for a DUI, a cop be like, "Well, he did buy this sticker, so he's okay."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got into a really, like, heated argument with one of those people one night because he called me at, like, 9:30 at night,
Oh,
and I got really angry about it, and I started questioning him about it. I was like, "Well, like, where is this money? Like, if I send you money, who's it going to, and what are you doing with it?" And he got really angry at me, and it was like he was like, "You're just you just don't wanna support the police. I mean, they're out there, like, risking their lives," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, and, like, who are you again, and what are you doing with this
the
money?"
documentary is amazing because, like, basically, police organizations get like a once a year payoff from these guys of like a really nominal fee amount, like not even six figures. And these guys make millions off this scam. And the police kind of look the other way because they're like, well, we didn't have to do any fundraising and we got this money. The movie's crazy because at the end, the two guys that made it literally go to the police convention and are trying to get someone to talk to them on camera and like really upset cops about it. It's amazing. But
Well,
yeah,
that's how they steal money now.
yeah. It's wild because there's one point where the guy's just walking through the street, finding phone numbers for ethnic businesses and calling them. Like, these guys are new to the country, like they're easy to scam. And he's like, "Oh, it's only $200 for the sticker." And the guy's like, "Yes, I'll do it now." He goes, "All right, thank you." And like he's standing right outside the guy's business doing it. It's upsetting. But yeah, that's probably this scam is a lot harder. It's like you have to like hook the people, you have to get them to fall in love with you, but, I mean, they are lonely hearts. I'm sure they had a method for the women that they picked, obviously, they're older most of the time.
Well,
They
yeah,
love
those were the kind that they went for,
Yeah,
he I guess he'd been keeping Janet Faye on the back burner because he said, "She's had she's been on the list the longest. Why hasn't she written me back yet?" They started to get
yeah,
worried.
yeah, and then I think, once he found the younger one that he knocks up, he's like, "Well, she's kinda attractive, so that's a good one." He still has his own needs beyond
Yeah, I
just
love how
killing
that
and
comes out. Like,
Yeah,
she gets him into this checkmate position where she doesn't tell him what, and that's another one. Like her conception of who they were unraveled really quickly after she
yeah.
tried to give her all those pills and kill her, and then they shoot her in the head. Nice people.
They're like, "You know what? If this hammer to the head twice doesn't kill you, we're gonna give you a tourniquet. If that doesn't work, we'll give you pills. If that doesn't
Yeah,
work, we could also shoot you in the head."
we've got this down.
Yeah. They have they're mul they have a lot of different channels for killing. They're ready. Also, like, when she was scrubbing the floor after they hit her with the hammer, we were joking that it's like, well, DNA, obviously, nobody was doing DNA. You just scrub that blood out with some bleach and you're totally fine. Nobody's gonna like, you know
Someone asked what was in that carton.
Oh,
I
yeah, some
confess,
Schneider's.
it's not Turner's, it's Schneider's.
Schneider's is fine too. Schneider's is good too.
Are they really local?
Yeah,
Schneider's?
the Schneider's is up in Mount Oliver on Brownsville. Yeah, so they're local. There's that Berg.
That
They make
counts.
that Berg tea too. Any Pittsburgh-based tea will work for this drink.
It can still be a Yinzer Arnold Palmer.
Yinzer Zombie, yeah,
Sorry, it's not an Arnold Palmer. It's a zombie.
it's an Arnold. That's the other point because I talk about it in the video. You'll see spoiler about Arnold Palmer, so, who's local. So therefore, it's all Pittsburgh. This is a very Pittsburgh. You could dunk French fries in this drink, and it wouldn't be more Pittsburgh. Put some coleslaw and some bread in it, and you'd be set.
I think you say that in your drink video.
Yeah. Oh, I sure do. Yeah. I got this drink down the Strip. That's where I got it.
Down there?
Down there, down the Strip. I went down to where Donzi's used to be.
Oh, Yins were in the strip. I thought Yins
Yins
were
were in the Strip.
downtown.
Yeah, nah, in the Strip. Did you go to Metropole? Nah, they ain't there no more.
Nah, yeah.
You
It
go to
burned
Rosebud.
down. The whole house burned down.
The whole house burned down. You go to Rosebud. Nah, Strip's getting too bougie for me. Strip getting too nice. It is.
We got so
It's so fancy now. I was like, I wasn't prepped for it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Speaking of Pittsburgh,
This is as good a segue as any, right?
yeah, written, produced, and filmed in Pittsburgh or Evans City, and Living Dead, our
Night
second movie.
of the Living Dead.
Would you say, babe?
More frightening than
You know who's
Alfred
from Evans
Hitchcock's
City?
Psycho.
Cubby's from Evans City.
He's an Evans City zombie, one of the
He is an Evans.
originals.
That's where his adopters were from when we came to see him. We drove to Evans City, drove past the cemetery in a snowstorm, and they brought us in their house and they handed Becca a cup full of popcorn chicken. And Cubby said, "You are now my mother." And that's all it took. Becca started crying as soon as she saw him. She's like, "He's perfect." And I was like, "Yeah." We brought Teen with us, and Teen was like, no. He's like, "No, I don't like this." And I don't want a brother. And Cubby was like, "Yeah."
Did he ever charm Teen?
Never, no.
Never. Of
Teen
course
just kind
not.
of gave him wide berth. He was just kind of like, ugh. Teen didn't like it. Andy the cat was tried to be Teen's best friend. He would mess with him all the time, and yeah, he didn't cotton to him. He was just like Teen was like,
Oh, I miss Andy.
yeah. Andy was the best. He was a great cat. But yeah, Night of the Living Dead, movie made in Pittsburgh and Evans City by folks from George Romero wasn't born in Pittsburgh, but we can consider him a Pittsburgher. All guys that worked in advertising in Pittsburgh that pulled their money. And yeah, and Lee asked if we've been there. Yeah, there's actually Gene, who's been on the show, helps run an event that happens once a year in Evans City at the cemetery. There's a whole bunch of places. Another part of it was filmed near where Spotlight 88 is.
Yeah.
Used to be.
There's a couple different locations that you can visit. I don't think the farmhouse stands anymore.
No.
And they didn't like people going and looking at it anyway. Apparently, the people that owned it, because it wasn't really in use for anything. I think it was storing hay or something. It was empty. And they dressed it for the film. And then afterwards, when it became a cult item, there were all these weirdos showing up, people like us, you know, showing up wanting to see the house and everything. And I think they started chasing them off with shotguns. And
well, it's like when you go to Monroeville Mall, you know who's there to shop and who's there because it's Dawn of the Dead's mall, where they're just people walking around staring, like tripping over stuff because they're like shocked that they're in the mall.
Yeah.
But yeah, Night. What was your first introduction to it, Bill?
I don't really remember the first time I saw it, but I think I may have gotten the novelization first, believe it or not. There was a novelization that came out in the late 70s. I think it was like 78 or 79. And of course, written by John Russo. I think I got that. And then not too long after that, it was on TV because Dawn of the Dead was going to be released. And there was like a primetime chiller theater or something with Bill Cardille.
I remember seeing the commercials for that and being so afraid and asking because I was probably like 6 or 7. And I asked my dad, "Is that movie scary?" And he said to me, "That's the scariest movie I've ever seen." And I was like, "Oh no."
Chris sums it all up here in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my first exposure to it, was on TV. And then I can't remember which came first, but there was another time when my mom took me to there was a park near us in New Kensington that used to show movies at night in the summer. And she would just took us over there. It was like me and another kid and her friend. And they were showing Night of the Living Dead right there and there were little kids there too. And talk about that Roger Ebert incident where he saw it in a movie theater with a bunch of little kids who were terrified. That was that screening in the park, except for me, because I was into it and I loved it, especially the intestines.
This triple feature is wild.
Oh, I know. Let's go back to that.
Yeah, look at that. Ghidra and the Daleks movie. The
Dr. Movie. I mean, usually it was a double feature with one of those two movies, Ghidra or the Daleks. And this program, you got all three of them. That's generous.
Yeah, I love that. What a night at the movie. I think the other thing too, Bill, is when that ad ran on the Chiller Theater ad for the primetime showing, I remember seeing, obviously the scene where they're trying to board the windows up and the hands are coming through, and
Oh yeah.
that was like one of my terrors as a kid of people coming from outside to inside of your house because as a little kid, you're like, once I'm inside my house, I'm safe. You know what I mean? From whatever's
Mm-hmm.
outside. And the fact that they were destroying the security of the house. My grandparents had this big window and I was always afraid to be in front of it after I saw that commercial. I thought, well, what if they're outside? And it stuck with me for a long time, like a very visceral fear of this movie.
That's an excellent point. I never thought of that, but that is one of the fears that this movie strikes at is that, this illusion of safety that
Yeah.
we have with us. And, you buy security systems and there's all sorts of money you can spend to keep this illusion of being safe. But really, there's a lot that could happen and it wouldn't matter if you had a security system or not,
Yeah. Even
Ultimately
from
there
the
could be
beginning,
something.
like you usually think of during the daylight is the safe time to be in a cemetery. And
Yeah.
completely not. Uh, it's the worst time to be in this. Wow, the Fulton premiere. I love this ad.
Yeah, but at the bottom it says by invitation only. So this was just kind of like a tease, I guess.
Uh, and oh boy, the Walter Reed Corporation. Uh, there's the documentary. It's on Tubi now that James Lockhart did, "My Life with the Living Dead," that has a lot of interviews with. It's all Russo speaking about his career, and he talks about how much money he thinks the Walter Reed. He said it's the biggest ripoff in the history of movies. That's how he looked at that company.
I'm
Famously,
sure.
as I'm sure you know, famously this had a different title. It changed. They didn't copyright the name. That's why it's public domain. Wow, what this is a double Pittsburgh movie, really, if you think about it.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, with Andy Warhol. If you guys don't know, because we know we have viewers from all over the country. Andy Warhol, also from Pittsburgh. Andy Warhola, as we call him here.
Yes. So yeah, this did play the UK, which still blows my mind, I guess a little because I don't know what they cut out of it to make
Yeah.
it palatable.
The other thing that always blows my mind about this movie is that uh, a lot of the just as much of the deaths in the movie come from people being dumb in the face of
Oh
things
yeah.
as the zombies. Like the truck blowing up, like these are all preventable things, but people are in a panic, and that's basically what it's about. I love my joy of more terrifying than Psycho or scarier than Hitchcock things. Uh, you know, I I love that they use that. This is a totally different movie than Psycho. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like totally separate worlds. Like I don't know the comparison, but okay.
Well,
Yeah.
there's one in here that you're gonna flip out, and I keep waiting for it to pop
Oh.
up. There it is.
Oh, oh man, yes. Oh, wow. What a night.
Oh, what a
Man.
night. That's what
Oh,
Sean Midas says all the time.
yeah.
Where's he been? Where has Sean Midas been?
Yeah.
We
Let
want to
us
know,
know.
Sean.
Yeah. Wow. 5 million years to Earth too. This is something else.
Yeah,
I can
this
see
is.
what's coming up next, and it's even crazier. So this is great.
You can see what's coming up next.
Yeah, I can see your image gallery of what image you have
Oh,
waiting
oh,
with the new version.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
That's not coming yet. There's still two more to look at here.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
It's
Oh,
another Ghidra.
this ad's great. Like I love this.
Look, they drew a bikini on the naked zombie.
Yeah. Is it true that the naked zombie was someone that just came to watch them filming? I've
I'm
heard
not
heard that.
sure.
That sounds like an urban legend, right?
I'm not sure who the naked zombie is or what her story is.
Yeah. She's like, what are you guys doing in that farmhouse? Filming a movie.
I
Can I
seem
get
to
naked?
remember reading something about who she was.
Mm. She's from the Edison.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, this was the actual debut in June 1970 in London. That's when Night of the Living Dead played there first.
Would you say that it's a U.S. Sado horror movie cult shocker?
Yes.
Yes.
Why, yes, I would. And it's the most horrifying ever made. Thank you.
Oh, wow. And it's going to play with Curious Female. America outshocks Sweden, and it comes to the Piccadilly.
Is it rated X? Yes, it is.
Do you like that it's 11:00 a.m.?
Is that how they do it in London?
I don't know. Is this playing all over London?
Yes.
Yeah,
All over London.
all over London. Wow.
It's spilling out everywhere
This
over
ad is
London.
very, very you, Bill. There's stars in it. There's like a little X just tossed in with the quotes around it. There's a lot of stuff that I know you love in here.
This needs to be
Beautiful.
an entire wall in my house.
Yeah, exactly. You should just get it printed onto the wall.
Mark Dockham could do that.
Oh, he should do it for you. Oh, this is what I was waiting for. Look at this. Wow. Attentional exorcist. Oh my gosh. So when is this? Like 72 or 73?
This is 1970.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was already like a B feature, and it was starting to gain reputation as a midnight movie after its
Wow.
initial release.
Wow. Do you think people got barf bags for this night?
No one had thought of it.
Oh,
Think of all the greater publicity they would have gotten for that movie if there had been a Night of the Living Dead barf bag.
I love that there's like a tiki Night of the Living Dead font. Also, it's GP. Huh.
Yeah, it doesn't have a rating.
Yeah.
This got in just under the wire, where
Yeah.
it started to become mandatory to have this R rating had now been created, and they were like going to start policing themselves. So this one really escaped, because I don't know what kind of rating it would have gotten if they had forced it. God.
Scott has a great idea for you, by the way. A new blanket with just that Curious Female ad. That's the whole blanket.
It sounds like a beach blanket.
Yeah, it's like or a beach towel like for the summer, and you whip that out on the beach. People are like, "Oh, okay,
Beach blanket bingo.
yeah, beach blanket, Curious Female."
Anyway, this
Yeah,
was one we showed when we watched Night of the Witches,
yeah.
because
Oh,
this is one of the only times it didn't play with Dr. Frankenstein on campus. It played with Mark of the Witch, which is pretty amazing. And of course, our second feature tonight, Night of the Living Dead, the one, the only, the original. It's just a
wow,
shout away.
wow. How high do you think the audience was for this one?
Well, now it's at least only PG.
Yeah, man, the Bijou font is gorgeous.
Sorry for that noise.
No, please. Night Living Dead. It's just Night Living Dead and G1 MMI1 shoulder. I don't know that they don't have dots on there. Give me shelter up there on the left, but oh. Well, there's a KDKA review. That's where that review came from, Bill. That more terrifying than Hitchcock Psycho. That's not to be
Yeah,
believed. That's
of
just one
course,
Yinzer looking out for another Yinzer.
which is how it should be.
Right. Oh my God. The big sky always comes through. Night of the Living Dead, Asylum, and Night of Dark Shadows. I don't. This feels too much. Just
I think
almost
it's
too.
stunning.
Yeah.
This might be a good time to thank our sponsor for this episode, Leaf Yonker. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. And if you're enjoying yourself, you could sponsor the next episode, and your name will be in lights in the credits. It's going to be really exciting. Just PayPal us any dollar value to groovydoom@gmail.com. And
It's
we're talking
probably your
like
best
single digit
entertainment
money.
value, I would say. You pay how much for Netflix a month? You can just drop a few bucks on this and you get all sorts of stuff brought to you.
Yeah. So true, Thomas Ellison.
Oh. Charlie Watts could be one of the. No, that's me.
I love Asylum too, Matt
Yeah.
Bustle.
Yeah.
Nice to
It's
see
either
you.
my number 1 or 2 favorite Amicus. It's either that or Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
How can you
Asylum,
choose?
how can you do I have to even choose my favorite? I don't think so.
No.
No.
We're not going to ask questions like that.
No, you must throw away one of these forever. No, we don't have to. I like that they listed Marilyn Eastman and Carl Hartman's name in this, and all these people are like, "Oh yes, I've seen them in many other movies."
Yes. Well, now this was a big deal. Maybe it
Yeah,
was the right thing to do for the actors to put all their names on there.
yeah,
I guess that's how they saw it.
yeah. Ooh.
Hey, you know what? Frankenstein dealt it and Dracula smelled it.
Wow, Frank,
Oh, Sam, you keep blinking out.
there I am. You did too for a second. We're back.
Yeah, Frankenstein smelled it, Dracula dealt it.
Wow. You think young Steve King is this where he saw it?
No, he probably saw it at the Brewer Drive-In.
Oh yeah, the brewery. Yeah.
I think there's a couple. There we go.
Oh yeah, he definitely was there for this night. He called Sam Raimi after and said, "I saw this movie Equinox, you, and you should see it." Um, wow, that's a great double feature.
Yeah, Equinox is going to be on TCM. I think it's on demand on TCM
Oh,
until the end of the month, which is like tomorrow. So go watch
another
it.
Criterion Collection movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
Evil Dead 2. What is it?
Evil Dead point five,
Point 5.
0.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with claymation, a lot of claymation. I love it. I think it's a really cool movie.
Oh, thank you for this
Thank
comment, Nora.
It's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, about how our shows date back to COVID. Wow.
Yeah, and here we are, still doing it. Thank you to everybody that comes out and watches.
We're in
This
our
is
5th season.
5th season. Wow. Look at this. Wow. What? uh,
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Dawn of the Dead, by the way. So you know.
No. Don't think
And
we're trying to sell you that new movie that's out. This is a midnight movie.
do you like that they're trying to sell Abbott and Costello as Cheech and Chong?
Yeah.
Zero? Yeah.
I
Wow.
think this was this Abbott and Costello short. There was something significant about this. Like, it hadn't been seen in a
Mm.
long time. I can't remember what the deal was with that.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Don't even try to bring passes, though. So, you know what I mean? If you got passes, leave them at home. Hey, what's up, King Bud? Hello on the YouTube screen.
hello, hello.
Hey.
All right, so I think that's the end of the ads.
Wow. You should have done. We should have said. I saw Mike said like how many VHS covers there were for this movie too.
Oh
Like,
my God.
yeah, this was like I said, I got this on VHS for like $10, which back then was really cheap. And you're like, wow, I can own Night of the Living Dead and watch it whenever I want. Like that's crazy. Like what it was such a foreign concept, and yes, I realize it's public domain, but just crazy that that that's when it could happen. Um, I also had the Zombies That Ate Pittsburgh book, and I read that nonstop and devoured it. And just I was so in love with Romero in high school that these movies were a big deal to me. Aw, thanks,
We
Mom.
love you too, Nora.
Yeah.
And all you guys. I love all you guys, okay?
One of the questions I have for this before we get to the drink, unless
Yeah.
you want to get to the drink first. This doesn't happen too often in movies where maybe I'll save it. It's a spoiler actually. I'll save it for after. Because I have a thought about the heroes of this movie. So yeah, I'll save it for. I know everybody's seen it, but let's just save it for after.
Yes. Please let us know. Is there a chance that anyone is watching this movie for the first time? Wouldn't that be a
Yeah.
scream?
Yeah. And how iconic is this picture of Kyra? Like this was on
Yeah,
stickers, shirts. Like this is the image that I think of for Night of the Living Dead. Like I think of this image more than anything else.
yeah. Unfortunately, for so many years, she was on all of those items, and she never got a cent for that.
Yeah.
There was no merchandising deal, and
It's funny because I know she's super young in this movie, but she is like prototypical goth girl in this image. Like so many people got their look from the way this looks.
yeah, yeah. It's such an unusual thing to it. It's like another rendering of her makeup because it's not quite the same as it is in the movie. I'm not sure when this was taken.
Yeah.
I should ask her.
Yeah.
She was the first interview I ever did on the Groovy Doom blog.
Oh wow.
It was really exciting. Like I already knew her kind of. Like I had hung out with her a couple of times, but we met for lunch at Kaya that
Oh
day, and
wow.
we had this conversation. It was amazing.
Did you get the
And she
bean
was like
dip?
so
That's
full of
the
stories.
best thing at Kaya.
Yeah. Oh, Kaya.
Yeah.
Well, I think I tried the alligator, the
Oh yeah.
appetizer, but not that time. Because Kyra's a vegetarian. I would freak her
Yeah.
out by eating
Yeah. You
something
don't
like
want to do
that.
that. She only
But
ate her mother. After that,
yes,
she stopped eating meat.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, was that what you wanted to say before the drink?
Yeah, I was gonna say it, and I'm gonna save my thought for after the movie because I
Oh,
wanted
okay.
I do have something after the drink though, but let's do the drink and then we'll come back.
Okay. All right. I
Not
don't
to
know what
order
to
you around.
do.
Play the
Just
drink. No.
tell me what to do. Okay.
This is Yinzer Zombie. You might say, Sam, seems like an Arnold Palmer. Well, let me explain. Arnold Palmer's from Latrobe, which is real close to Pittsburgh. So therefore, I can call it a Pittsburgh Zombie if I want. Also, black and gold, get it? And also, if you're from Pittsburgh, you recognize this. It's Turner's Tea. You can only get it around here. This is, people mostly just drink Turner's Tea. It's filled with sugar, that's why we're so fat. You can put french fries on this too, if you want to. But anyway, yeah, it's an Arnold Palmer, but it's got Jack Daniels in it. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour your tea and lemonade together. This is a summer sipping on the porch cocktail, right? You might want to sip that down a little bit, a little high. There you go. And now,
A little bit of Jack.
a little bit of Jack Daniels. Let's give it a stir. No need for a stir. Look at that. You can go to Monroeville Mall with that. You can go to Edmond City. You can go to the Wampa Mines. You can go to anywhere where Romero Zombie exists. Big Beaver in the parking lot and Children of the Living Dead. And enjoy it. So here's to you. I'm so excited to watch Night of the Living Dead tonight. And it's the Yinzer Zombie. Yins, guys, I hope Yins like it down there. And I am Pazuzu here. That Pazuzu's down there making all sorts of racket.
Pazuzu.
Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show.
Pazuzu and that.
You know what I realized?
Mm.
I don't have my whiskey in my liquor cabinet.
Oh.
I went to pour this drink and I could not find the whiskey.
Oh.
So should I run downstairs and get the whiskey? But then you'll be on by yourself.
I can do it if you want.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Talk about Night of the Living Dead.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to my corner talking about Night of the Living Dead. I think if you have not been to Western Pennsylvania, where this was shot, you will see on when the TV runs in this and it shows, they talk about where the dead are attacking and what's going on. Those are all real cities. So if you're from here, there has never been classically a lot of representation for Pittsburgh within movies. It's very few movies that we're in. So to see Zillionople and Koppel and Beaver Falls and Katanning, Butler, these like really small towns. Pittsburgh's really, honestly, like 98 small towns. where when someone says, "Where are you from?" in Pittsburgh, you say, "I'm from Bloomfield," or something. So anyhow, that really comes across in this. Also, this has the most Western Pennsylvania thing you will ever see in a movie, which is where all the hunters get together to kill zombies. 100% that would happen. Hunting is such a big deal here. All the scenes with that. Also, whenever you see the interviewer, if you guys don't know this, the interviewer that's speaking to the hunters and to the sheriff and everything, that's Chili Billy, Bill Cardell, who hosted Chiller Theater here. So there you go. That's another Pittsburghism that's in this movie, and that's why I love it. I mean, I would love it if it was from anywhere, but because it is so much of Pittsburgh, that's why it's so close to my heart. I grew up driving past these places that are in this movie, and there's not really that many other movies that you can say that about, especially one that's so important. And Night of the Living Dead is critically important. We wouldn't have modern horror without it, I believe. And as Chris said earlier, so much happens. There you go. I got through it. Bill's back. Don't tell him what I said. He can't hear without his earphones in. So.
Sorry, I had to get reconnected.
I was just telling him secrets about you.
Good. I hope you were telling them some good shit.
No, I was telling him about the most Western Pennsylvania thing in this movie is the hunters throwing them in the fire and getting them, because
oh yeah,
it's the most that ever would happen. David, you're lucky that you can claim that about Manos, The Hands of Fate. That's another great one to claim. We can claim this movie, and we can claim a lot of John Russo movies. And
yeah. What's wrong with Manos?
no, Manos is a great one. I wish I could claim Manos was made. I like Flesh Eater too. I hated Flesh Eater the first time I saw it, and now I love it.
I knew that was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
I totally knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I finally get to taste my Yinzer zombie.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Thank you. The reason why I love Flesh Eater is because I realized the secret of it is that Bill Hensman was old. He was married for like 40 years at that point. And he's like, what if this zombie just got to touch boobs? And they're like, what a great idea. And that's pretty much what that movie is. And it's also a sequel to this. Bill Hensman's the original zombie that you see in this. And I love that. It's on Tubi. You can watch it. It's not as good as Night of the Living Dead, honestly, what is, but it's still fun.
Flesh Eater.
Flesh Eater. It's just funny though. It's like when other people come here and see these spaces, they're like always amazed by them, and it's like, oh, but yes, these are the spaces. But I'm going to feel the same way when we go to Iowa in a couple weeks. So, and
what do you mean?
Like I think, like to us, like if you go to Evans City and see the cemetery, you're like, oh, cool. You've seen it. You know what I mean? You've lived around here. But like if you came from another state, you know what I mean? It would be like a pilgrimage to you versus, it's just,
okay.
It's always been in the background of our lives. But that's awesome though.
Yeah, we do take it for living here. When Joe Rude came to visit, he kept commenting about how green everything was because he's, from the desert area, like El Paso, Albuquerque. So, it's hard to imagine that people see life so differently. So this must have looked like some, I don't know how this looked to people that weren't from around here. Maybe you could tell us in the chat if you're not from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Scott said he's a sucker for Striking Distance. That's one of Becca's favorite movies. And we used to live at the top of the hill that he almost destroys his car in that police chase. We lived above that hill, which is crazy. Take Bigelow.
It's terrifying.
Take Bigelow, as they say. I would say the movies that are Pittsburgh are Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Striking Distance, Sudden Death. I guess Batman Returns, maybe. Because you get to see the football stadium blow up. There is that. Yeah, the first Jack Reacher movie set in Pittsburgh too. What else? Oh, Lady Beware. That's shot here. A TV movie.
Right.
Yeah. Yinzer Jalo. Midnight from here, as we've already shown.
Two Evil Eyes.
Two Evil Eyes. Santa Claus. I'm just gonna name John Russo movies at this point.
Oh,
No,
I
Two
can't
Evil
mention
Eyes.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, and you can stay in Buffalo Bill's house if you're here. Maria's Lovers, shot in Brownsville, right down the street from me. The Cannon movie, yeah, Innocent Blood.
Oh, I distinctly remember the shoot for Innocent Blood because I lived downtown at Point Park College while they were doing it. We still walk down there all the time. There was a burned out bus on Liberty Avenue
Oh.
for like 2 nights in a row. It was
They all-
amazing.
when they go to what do you call its house? The mob lawyer's house, played by Don Rickles.
Oh, right.
They go right past that house in Shadyside that has the big bow on it at Christmas. And I was like, oh my God, they got the bow in the movie. That's so awesome. Yeah. I have a whole letterbox list of movies shot here. If anybody wants to check it out, and I'm always
Pittsburgh realism.
Yeah. Pittsburgh realism. So I love seeing Pittsburgh show up in movies, especially when it's referred to as Pittsburgh and it's not another city. I don't like movies like Stigmata that aren't shot in Pittsburgh because that club that they go to in the beginning of Stigmata, we have never had a nightclub that ever looked like that ever. It's like
That was like on Queer as Folk,
yeah,
which was supposed to take place in Pittsburgh. And there was never a nightlife in Pittsburgh that is depicted as in Queer as Folk.
no, never. But there is some stuff shot here, and it's always fun to see. Zach and Mary Make a Porno shot here, Dogma shot here. So there's always something. There for a while though, when the tax subsidies were really great, there was a ton of stuff getting shot. Lorenzo's Oil. There's another scary.
What was that
movie.
Jamie Lee Curtis movie?
Which one is that?
It's like a 2 kids movie. I don't remember. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. Okay. It's not where she's getting stalked by a man in a white mask. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It's on the tip of my tongue. It's 2 names.
What if I loaded up my Pittsburgh?
No, don't do that. It's going to take
me?
up too much time on the show just for this stupid thing.
Okay.
Anyway, there's movies in Pittsburgh, okay? Trust us.
Yeah, more than just zombie movies. There are other movies in Pittsburgh. Who's your favorite character in Night of the Living Dead, Bill?
I don't know. I don't know that I have a favorite character, but when I was young, I used to really identify with Barbara because she's sort of childlike throughout the whole thing. Like she reverts into this sort of childlike persona. And I guess that's why I identified with her. Plus, she lives almost all the way to the end.
Yeah. It's
God,
not
I hope I didn't spoil it for anyone.
Not a hot take, but I like Barbara more in the Tom Savini version. I like that I like the Tom Savini version a lot. And like usually sequels are like, I really like it. Maybe because I saw it in a theater in Beaver Falls, and whenever they said Beaver Falls, the entire theater just started screaming. It was pretty awesome. But I just think it's really cool. And it's a 21st century movie produced by Menahem Golan, so it has that going for it too. Menachem. Anyway. Yes, Heartstopper's another one Vince brought up. There's another Pittsburgh movie. Anyways, I'm excited we're showing this. I think the cool thing is there's a lot of people who have said a lot about this, but very few have been people from Pittsburgh that get a chance to talk about why this movie is important to them. Damn it, we're from Pittsburgh. Talk about it. Also, I saw that Mandy and Lee brought up Ocala, Florida in the chat. That's where I trained for wrestling, in Ocala. So it was very
right on.
Very hot and muggy. But yeah. So I've been there before. Anyway, if Yin's ever come to Pittsburgh, Bill and I will show you the sights, and you can see
Yeah.
the different places. There's a whole Minerva Mall has a whole museum in there. There's all sorts of stuff to see. There's a lot of stuff to do. Yeah. Steve says he relates to Ben because he's always trying to fix problems while his family melts down around him. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben is an interesting character in this movie because he sort of ends up being the one that you're supposed to root for, and yet he's totally wrong about
Yeah.
the whole thing. Like
That's what I was
the
going to say.
guy,
That's my spoiler for later. Yeah. Like I don't
the
know
guy that
another
ends up being
movie.
right.
I don't know another movie where the hero is so wrong outside of maybe The Mist. You know?
Yeah, it's another one of those tragedies, tragic endings.
Yeah. Hey, Chris said, "What are next week's movies?" He's asked a couple times, so let's tease it again.
Well,
One of them we talk about every week, definitely,
just about every week.
just about every week, a lot. And man, I don't know how to say it without spoiling.
It's a one of our favorite genres. It's an imitation of a much more successful movie,
Yeah,
shall we say. It's one of the knockoffs.
but a
And
good knockoff.
it wasn't made in America.
No, and it wasn't made in Italy. There, we probably told you way too much.
But anyway,
Yeah,
you probably already could guess if you looked up. Well, no, we didn't say who the actress is that's going to be
No.
on next week's program.
no,
She's in both movies. The first one is like a sexploitation film, a softcore like sex comedy, and it's from the mid-70s.
yeah. When life was
Total
cheap.
drive-in movie, total drive-in 70s drive-in vibes. What else can we say without giving it away, Sam? Should we give it away?
No, I like saving it for the third segment. It's a reason to
Okay.
come back. I know
Yeah,
Chris will come back anyway, but
we're just about to break anyway, so
Yeah.
save it for the third segment. We'll
Yeah,
keep you in suspense.
Mike said next ones are Demonoid and The Light at the End of the World. I love The Light at the End of the World, but it's not that. No, but that would be great.
No.
Also, it's not Magdalena, but that is on the new episode of my podcast this week. It is Magdalena
Oh, yeah.
and the Eerie Midnight Horror Show, which are my two favorite Devil Worshiping movies. And
I listened to that episode last night.
what did you think? I'm excited to hear.
I love your podcast.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I
There's a-
do. I love your theme music.
Mhm.
I love that it's, I love that you started. Sorry, my drink is talking back. This is Bill's drink. Tell him to get to the movie already. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna say that I liked your podcast, and I love that you started putting clips in the pieces, like little scenes from the trailer and audio clips, of course. But yeah, I think it's totally groovy.
Thank you. Yeah, I have fun with putting the clips in. Also, some of you may have heard it, but I've been training my AI tools to get Italian voiceover actors' voices. So Carolyn Di Fonseca may be on the show in the future. As
She already left me a voicemail.
Yeah, she did, and Bob left a few people voicemails this week too. So
She said that men whose names begin with B are bears. Anyway,
yeah,
Night of the Living Dead. I linked to it on Groovy Doom. The version that the cool people watch is on YouTube, and it's the Criterion restoration. So
Ooh, this
you're
is the
gonna love it.
fanciest week of the show ever. Two
It
Criterion
is
films.
two
But
Criterions.
when people ask me at work, they're like, "What did you show on your show?" I'm like, "Two Criterion movies. We're a little fancy." And they're like, "Oh yeah, what were they? The Honeymoon Killers and Night of the Living Dead." I'm like, "Oh."
I think it's the Criterion cut anyway.
Yeah.
It's all fixed up, so it doesn't look like it used to. However, it's not in 4K, so I don't know how discriminating of a viewer you are. You probably own this movie. I'm sure it's in your collection.
Yeah.
So watch your version.
Yeah.
And come back afterwards. We'll have lots more to say about Night of the Living Dead.